Okay, we're on. So, Yate Anofto. Yeah, thank you very much. Hello for coming on this evening to Indigenous Ways Wisdom Circle. And as always, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional caretakers and ancestors for these lands we reside on in Santa Fe, New Mexico, 19 pueblos on and around us. Wherever you're beaming in from, we'd like to acknowledge your ancestors and caretakers as well. As always, Indigenous Ways is dedicated to bridging cultures globally, and we are utilizing this Zoom format and other social media sites to keep us all connected in this time, with our theme being Rising in Resilience. Tonight is a very, very special evening. We have a very, very special guest tonight. We've been talking about Black Mountain for a few months now and how many people on the mountain have been left out, and there's a water issue going on right now where there's no water for a lot of residents up there. Well, guess what? Tonight we have Lynn, and she is the CHR worker. And CHR is a really important acronym on the Navajo Nation. It means Community Health Representative. So CHR workers represent their chapters where they represent the people. And it's very sparse and very remote. And it's the way people want it to be. Remote is beautiful, it's fine. Most people want dirt roads because they don't want it to become tourist attraction places. So where Lindeen is hailing in from is Black Mountain, and she is a resident and belongs to the mountain. And her mother is there, and her mom is very, very beautiful, Jane Ballou. Hi, Jane. Hopefully Jane's on tonight. I think my mom's on tonight. Hi, Mom. Yep, my mom's here. Hi, Harry. And my Aunt Emma should be coming on too. So anyways, without much ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass the microphone to Lynn Dean, everyone. Let's enjoy Lynn Dean. Woohoo! Thank you, Lynn, for being with us.
Well, very excited to be on tonight. Iyo bashir fujo in hijra hades don hilnashna for the donor the anigibi. Just very excited to be here and to share some of my stories from Black Mountain and the people that live in the communities of Black Mountain and Forest Lake. My name is Lynn Dean. In Chiagi Lynn Dean in Chiedo, 200 in Chiedo, Twitchki, Bashishkin, my deshkis and Bashichedo. Is it Sunday? Dashinale. Ado Bashishkin get Twitchki, and they said I should jot down Labor Corn Valley, Aja Ayaha, Shapijido, Aja Kedahate. I know there's a lot of Twitchkinis in Forest Lake. They always welcome me as their baby, so I just always like to make that clear. Aquado, Zitlijin Barato Enasha, Aquadoshiaho Ado. Otra diado ade aku shike yaho shibine betraho tradition e shenanishmati. So let me go back in English. My name is Lynn Dean. I reside here in Black Mesa. I was raised here. I've gone to school off the res and have come back, and now I love my job. I serve my people, my community, and most of these elders I grew up in front of, so I can't be naughty. And sad to say, some of them made their journeys, and that's just the way life is. I was just saying that we were part of life is also that we have to deal with death. And, I have my share. I've gotten to know my elders more through my job as a CHR, and I know what they're doing at certain times of the month. It's funny, and they really become part of my family instead of like a clan aunt or clan grandma. So, but yeah, I was raised here in Kitzili. Kitzili, Kitzili is actually the real name, and I was probably about fifth or sixth grade at the community school. At the time, it was called Kitzila Community School. And I remember the principal then, a white man that came from Boston, I believe, and he was our principal. And we went to school in like a little house on the prairie type deal. We were schooled in one building from kindergarten to eighth grade. And so the one summer, we all voted on the name change to Black Mesa Community School. Years later, I regret, I'm like, why did I even be part of it to name it Black Mesa? We should have kept Kitzili. But yeah, so I was, when I see that Little House on the Prairie movie, every now and then I always tell my kids, that's how I went to school, you know, that's no biggie, you know. So there's a lot to be thankful for, you know. I've seen this community school grow even years later. It's still going to this day. Believe they have somewhere between 40 to 50 students enrolled at the community school, and they travel quite a ways to get their students. Leia ultra bahashne ultra tradiya haginde kitzile ultra ado etra iltra ilchene that the taught nani Head Start ado etra iltra shichain de ben silver headband Joliene a bet shatraj Head Start iltra le ado aqua kitzile Ahlagune da eni traunle ilchene that the todonle tebi wol traje. Eko io bash fojo dishti the ea e ultra kitzile ultra ati lwalto ntrago liado njungo toda ya hatazle. Shia iltra we still have the outhouses. Although we had a wood stove in our school. Mini meal grandson. Winter stories in and we will always outvote the guys. And we would want to hear the changing woman story every time. So, ecco, io bacio questo altra il wahidi ado kota bagani ka an darvish ecco John bajo. I was just talking about the community school that I had attended. It was just like Little House on the Prairie. We were all in there. We didn't have running water. We had an outhouse. The bus driver, he was the bus driver. He was the bus driver, but he hauled in our water. He hauled in coal. He hauled in wood to keep us warm. And we also had a local grandpa who was our storyteller during lunch. And in return, he ate with us. He had a hot meal. And so he would tell us winter stories, and he'd be sitting there, and we'd be all around the wood stove, and he'd be making cow whip, and he would bring his own cowhide. I don't know if any of his family to this day. Yeah, so our little community school has come a long ways. To this day, they still enroll at least 50 students. It has grown, the school. It's now a beautiful facility. It has a gym, it has a wellness center, multiple classrooms, and the bus drivers don't haul in water or wood or coal. It's heated, so it's a really nice facility. I'm very thankful for the Twitter people. They gave up their land for our chapter house and our community school. They gave up grazing areas. I'm very thankful for that. Ado yo ba him ya question nalta pagani izan tanlini bikeya na de des ko isla nat lehi ta nas ne do khata nas ne ko John do yunza nat abelni in sorry ban case, we've come a long ways from our elders meeting under the trees at the local chapter meetings. Now we have facilities. We're so spoiled. We're inside. We have running water. We have restrooms. We have showers. And that's just, I'm just going to say that about the little community school and the chapter house. But I'll go back to introducing myself. I sort of got carried away and jumped the gun here. So I live in Kitzili. I live 9 miles west of the chapter house, Black Mesa. I live along the highway. It used to never be highway. It was all dirt road. For many years, I traveled with the chain and shovel and mud shoes, and now it's not. So I'm thankful that the highway runs right past my house for a couple of miles. I have 3 grown children, Adrian, Jared, and Megan. They're all out of my home. I live with Thomas here. And yeah, so I'm also a grandma, which is, they say, grandma, everything stops. I tell you, I have a grandson, Aiden, Carrie Lynn, Parker, and Leslie. That's all by my oldest daughter. They're just beautiful human beings. And then a couple days ago, I became a grandma in Germany. My son-in-law is stationed out there, and my youngest daughter is out there, Megan. And so I'm very happy that I'm a new grandma, glowing grandma, and her name is Noelle. So I'm very blessed to be a mom, to have raised wonderful adults. And my son, he lives in Lawrence, Kansas with his girlfriend. And he had a bit of an announcement the other day. He says, Mom, I'm so nervous. And he never ever calls me in the middle of the day and right off the bat calls me Mom. And he's like, Mom, I'm going to ask Tasha to marry me tonight. So we all cheered him on. And of course, she said yes. And she's a young lady from Rama. They met in school in Crown Point. So I'm very happy for them. And that's who I am. And I live here. I have sheep. We have sheep, no goats. A calf named Blue. We have chickens. We do our own eggs. We have ducks, cats, dogs. It was like a little farm here. And I also have elder parents that live next door to me that I help care for and help whatever they need help with. As Tasha has mentioned, my mom, she's Jane Ballou. And I also had grandparents. They've been gone for many years. My grandfather was the late John Rockridge. He's a pretty well-known man in Winter Rock. And we always hear wonderful stories. And that's one of the reasons why I say I can't be naughty. Because wherever I go and in the communities of Forest Lake and Black Mesa, somebody will always say, Nche hutende, nche honinde, nche hono yona tiende. So they will tell me, well, your grandfather, John Rockbridge, said this and did this and has done this for our people. And to this day, that's how pawn shops are running. And so sometimes it's interesting. Every time I hear a story about my grandparents and something new to me again. So it's good. It's good to hear those. It makes me stronger as a person, and to know that my grandpa was not just my grandpa. It seems like he was everybody's uncle and counselor. But I'm very lucky to be here today and to be in front of you and sharing my stories with you. Iyo basha fujon shumasando shiche konche kitana joje ehuninde amtinde but bidine e kaan wato bidine yana the kodishki de atin de tela hotan de saho bin hat atiaku nasla dano dan indis ko iyo besh tanya hot ele ado yaha tela hotan hatni o chidibete I ita she da zaha she no be ka o libe in the contact de santa de I was just saying that back then when my grandpa went to meetings in Window Rock, he spent the night. It was like a 2-day travel for him to be out there. And now we all have vehicles, so we just zoom into Window Rock, take care of whatever. But back then, my grandma used to say that, he was never home. He was always in Window Rock. So, but he did a lot of great things for our people. And he was always wanted to do things for his people, for the better of his people, his community. So I'm happy that that's who my grandpa is, and that sometimes we'll hear stories that I had never heard of. But so tonight I'm going to share with you my work. This is my 5th year working with Navajo Nation Community Health Representative. I'm a senior community health representative for Forest Lake chapter, but I also oversee Black Mesa. 5 years ago, when I was hired, hired for the Black Mesa community, and I was so thrilled. Prior to that, I worked with Chinle Public Schools for over 20 years, and every day it was over 100 miles a day. And it worked fine because my kids were in school there. But I've always told my family, as soon as my youngest kid is finished with Chinle High School, I'm moving home. I'm going to find a job close to home, and that happened. So in that way, I'm very blessed. Little did I know that the CHR was going to change me personally as a person, and just the tradition, my culture. My mom, she spoke English, and she can read and write. My father, my late father, he didn't go to school, and he didn't speak English, but he was very fluent in Spanish, which was funny because that's sort of weird. But my dad was a railroad worker, and when he was younger, I guess he spent close to 4 years maybe in a TB center out in Las Cruces or somewhere. So he picked up the language, and my mom would say, oh, he had a Spanish girlfriend too. So I don't know, but that's just, but so being a CHR, learned to dissect my clans. I didn't know that. I just knew my 4 clans as sort of who's related to me in what way or how. But Hotragaha Badashnishtonda Lake and Dust E or Ajot Lohodan Lane, teasing me, breaking jokes. Ehudat Egia and the Bohosh Ado the Nede Kate so Bohosh Ado Ashkidan Tinado. I go back to that sometimes, the old teachings, and with my job, with even prevention, promotion, health promotion. I try to put the teachings back in. So a CHR, community health representative, started in 1968. I was only 2 years old. A wonderful Navajo lady by the name of Dr. Annie Wanika started the program. Back then it was in the era of the TB. So she did a lot of work to make CHR what it is today. And today we wear so many hats. Like for me, one of the requirements to be a CHR is to have a CNA license. So I'm a certified nurse's aide, and then I'm also a licensed CHW, community health worker, and CHR and the American Dental Association also put me through school to be a community dental health coordinator, which allows me to do dental oral health education and also work chairside if need be. So I'm very happy about that. And I didn't know there was so many ways of brushing your teeth and flossing, and I share that, and people always get surprised and just the little things with oral health. But we do a lot of advocating for our elders, from home to back into the clinic, whichever departments that they're trying to get into or be seen. Like it could be optometry. Because of the COVID-19 pandemic, our clinics have changed. So you can't make an appointment and just expect to be seen. There's steps before you actually get into the clinic now. And one of them is getting an on-site testing, and then you go to your appointment, and it's a wait, like an hour wait or so. And it's really, COVID-19 is a really horrible thing. It's snuck into the homes of our elders. It has done evil things to our communities. I think that at this time, our elders are starting to feel the stress of being alone, being isolated. And from our home visits are also different. We do our home visits from the outside. We're not allowed to go inside, and we have to be 6 feet apart with our PPEs, mask and gloves, and no vitals. And they miss that. And I truly believe that sometimes the true medicine is just that one-on-one with your elder. And they miss that. Todo biltahatsida kagohut hala binaya di kosantana states ada holegi Ko nahan do it's other na o used ko even na llaho o zato it's ko llaho ila is 20,000 so o that of bash is going to have to that o kista should be taught and at the or destiny ada o you masane don kiche do beta has no gas station should be taught in a car ne do that ne do kun ya din na la nchi ni do gas ti dan la just then tabat no da ya ko yo ik hashidat al hadina qad beta hallo o konde alch beta hallo mask and gloves atishne saho yaha on de kisita en de chato kikodo o you ade iblakana do na klifishi at kuye ka efjehi yo ba ke hasan halan kidne do at ko hut be hallo dan le thala washta chiyanda fishi is kada asisita بين الثلاثة دقيقة أحتاجك أداة إسكازنا دهسلي لها هي يدتان لود أكو دي خدا دي أنا بدي نجي أشتري دي شيء أدوكي شو نت جوهد تاشا أخد يعني إيشكو شدو خدا تاشا بكايشي شماشي أجو تودج إيد أكو هاد إيش من لني بكايشي دو شفزي دو يو باهين سحالان كتنه وشو باين زنيدو باهشو باهي إن كتخاهو خلا شكات أو وحيزة آدون كتنه سو دوات أتو بسي هدازنيدا ويو أتين 20 ديه آدو دون دا الشانتين سحوتا نازل تكون جوي كوستا هلون تحتينو داي دون بعد نشتغله دو خيوغو انت هزتي كله اتأكد أتين دين هكاية I was just saying that I'm very thankful for Tasha's Indigenous Ways funding that she provides, or all the people that help donating to our elders, not just the elders or the community members. They're very appreciative of getting things. Some of our elders, some of our people, community people, no matter what the age, they like, everybody likes freebies. They like the straw hats were hip, the umbrellas was cool. And now, winter's coming, so we need socks, we need sweatshirts. Yeah, it's just really great that we got those donations. A lot of people were very thankful, and I always tell the people that, this is the help that our own community member is doing, but she lives in Santa Fe. Her family is right here from Oak Ridge, So it's and when you say that, they're like, "Hey, but my son is who's grandma and Margaret Dalton." Yeah, if my son in there, and then you go into conversation and they tell you, "Oh, hey, that person was related to me this way," and they'll tell you old stories about winter camps that they used to share, or where they used to meet at water holes and stuff like that. So it's nice, but I'm very thankful for all the donation that came to our community. We have people that still haul water. That's for livestock and drinking and cooking. So it's some people have it harder than others, but we're used to it. I grew up not having running water or electricity, so I know how that feels. We hauled water. We sometimes had to go all the way to Peabody to get water. I know people today from my community that travel the distance to bring in water early. And, some homes still don't have electricity. Now, I recently came upon a camp that had neither one of those. So grandma still hauls water. So it's a mixed blessing to live out here. But our elders are very strong. They're resilient in so many ways. They've learned to survive for many, many, many years. So, and they still keep doing it. Sure, into the net, into Zani Don has 2 Ada, Ide, 20 Yedo, Don Piata skill. E Adam dan Segi, Yedan Sodo, Yicha Hataorne, Hide, Nihan, Zange, Yaha, Tuhalo, de Ganizindo, Art Kilos, Elda, Bashes, Parishing Subway, the Honey. Eskinashi do hut egan der ko shaho atia hut amnas hut ati kudu zilji ba ado zilji be keje ajido astwido sani hullo ekodi ade Tasha Terry ale nekye chiyanto e afrishi anle tit in ze tatat iskada afrishi chahta uyun sani epi sani beso ye tahaj jeki epits ado e ku nebetat sani do yo bisanjun biadat e halan hanai ki halade nada eskeda no da diskita. Yeah, so I was just saying that some of the community members will ask, so when is Tasha bringing out stuff? And they usually, Lynette, it cannot get out the girls that haul goodies. So I'm not sure if we're out of time or if we're at a place for questions, but we as CHR workers, we advocate on behalf of our elders. Sometimes it's taking care of their referrals. We do a lot of health promotion. We do prevention disease. We make appointments. We try to find safe rides, or either it's just helping with home care, maybe a foot soak, or we're not supposed to do medicine, but who's going to do that? So we do it. We refill their pill box for the week, or we call in refills at our local clinics. So we make sure that they're up to date. And then we also, the referrals sometimes not just from IHS, they can come from different departments in the IHS, maybe a diabetes program, or optometry or podiatry, even well baby. Sometimes we'll have a referral from there. So we work with all ages. When things were normal before COVID-19, we did a lot of health promotion, health education. We would go into the schools, and for me, I would do like oral health, like I said, to the Head Start, and that's also through things that we get donated to us. A lot of times, American Dental Association will donate toothpaste and floss and toothbrushes of various types. So I like them a lot. So yeah, so we do a lot. And of course, I miss doing all those things. Now our home visits are different. Like I've said before, our home visits are done all outside. We can't do group health education. So it's mostly all one-on-one. We can't do vitals. A lot of the things, I think I would say majority of the elders miss getting their vitals taken and reading them, what their numbers are. And so they'll always say, write it on my calendar, what my number is, and we'll try to work on it, or something like that. So I I tell them, be patient, it'll come back. But and right now we're just stressing to our elders, be winter ready. That's get your firewood, stock up on things, for the winter. Flashlights always a biggie out here, and we also work with our local government, like our chapters. We uh, when it's when we weren't in the COVID season or this COVID pandemic, we were helping out with Just Move It, community wellness, and then also like the flu shots. Flu shots are different now. It's all going to be drive through and only at the clinics. They won't come to the chapter houses. I think this week I've had a lot of questions, excuse me, on flu shots. So, and yeah, so that's my story on being a CHR. I hope I've shed some light on my work.
Yeah, thank you very much, Lindeen. This is great. This is necessary, and this is amazing. The walk that you have, the life that you lead, the work that you do. All those people up there on Black Mountain, my aunts and my uncles, the Beltas, the Begays, Francis Honey in that camp. The
Mhm.
people that live up there really know what it is to take care of each other in the community. And it's so remote, but it's so beautiful. And I want it to stay like that. It's just special. It's not,
Mhm.
it's never, Black Mountain's never going to be like a sellout. So thank you very much, Lindeen, for sharing. I have some questions for you, and anybody else that wants to have questions will be welcomed back onto the screen in just a moment. I'd like to take this moment to let everybody know that next week we have a presenter from Dene College. Her name's Latanya Thin Nashteji Trapan, and she's a pretty amazing young woman that goes to Dene College. So she's going to bless us with her wisdom next Wednesday. So please join us for that. You can also find information on IndigenousWays.org, which is right above my head. And then down below, we have all the social media sites. And those of you that really enjoy our Indigenous perspective, our deaf presenters, our elders, our young people with old souls, you can go to our website and click on any one of those 50 pictures of the presenters, and you can replay it over and over again. You can share it with your family, and those of you that are educators, you can use it in your classrooms for your curriculums, because this is, as they say, from the horse's mouth. This is not anything written from a book or read off a script, although I do have a script that I follow just to keep me on track. In the next 48 hours, this show will be posted on our website, just in case you missed it or you want to share it with your family members. Lindeen, tell your family and your children in Germany and Kansas to check it out. Go to Indigenous Ways and look for your picture, and they'll be able to see your show in case they missed it tonight. And as always, these shows all have ASL interpreters, and we do have the most amazing ASL interpreters that are conceptually accurate and culturally sensitive and all that kind of fun stuff that is really exciting for me. And we want to thank our sponsors. As always, we would not be doing this if we didn't have the people believing in us, from the National Endowment of the Arts, Westaff, Westaff Cares, New Mexico Arts, New Mexico Humanities Council, and National Endowment of Humanities. And it's so funny when I sit in classrooms interpreting, sometimes I'm interpreting what the speaker's saying, and they're going, "Good evening, I'd like to acknowledge traditional caretakers and ancestors for these welcome to it." I'm just like, so I try to go at a prosody pace so that the interpreters can be really clear. So thank you, our board members. Thank you, Terry, for working with us on making this very accessible and clear, and everybody else. All our board members are amazing. We would not be where we are today without them. Those of you that want to subscribe to our weekly newsletter, you want to learn more about Indigenous Ways, once again, go to the website right above and subscribe to the newsletter. We would really appreciate that. Next week, save the date. Oh my gosh, we have the Lenzik Theater here in Santa Fe that is hosting Keb Mo, a multi-Grammy award-winning musician. And this concert is $15 a ticket. It is on Saturday, and all the proceeds are going to go to keep the Lenzik Theater open. And the Lenzik Theater is partnering with us and some other nonprofits, and will contribute proceeds from that fundraising concert to our Black Mesa Run as well. So our debut video document is going to be opening the show, and please support the Lenzik Theater and buy your tickets. They're $15. And as always, if you want to donate to our virtual events and or our Black Mesa runs, please go to our website, or you can go to any of these donation PayPal, or you can send a check-in if you'd like. We've had that happen too, and that's also very nice. So at this time, it's time for everybody to come on if you want, and if you're too shy to come on, you're welcome to type in a message. And so far, what we see on the screen says, great to see and hear you. All our social media sites, if we see any kind of messages on chat, we'll present that to you as well. Lynn, Dean, and of course, if nobody has anything to say, I have plenty to say because I got a lot of questions for you. We have another person that's saying beautiful light and life. Thank you, and thank you. Okay, let's not all talk at the same time. Does anybody want to say anything tonight? Julie, would you like to share some words?
I'm not real articulate, but Lynn, thank you so much. So wonderful to get to know who you are a little bit. And I would be interested in, as time goes, what the specialty items that you're looking for this time. And thank you so much for sharing your heart with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mute it. Thank you, Julie. All right, Christine, Donna, would you like to share some words?
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm a social worker, although I do massage therapy primarily these days, but I understand the kind of work that you do and how valuable it is. And I'm very happy to know that you're able to do that. And I'm also very happy to know Tosh and Elena and to be able to contribute in some small ways. So any kind of list or information that they pass on to us, we will do our best to try to help and participate and ask friends and family to help so that we can offer support from many different directions.
Thank you.
Thank you for your sharing.
Thank you, Christine and Donna, and thank you for contributing to Black Mountain as well. And I've got a question.
Something happened. I don't hear you.
I'd like to ask, okay, I'm off mute now. Are you supplied with PPEs from your work to contribute to what you're doing on the mountain? Do you have enough protective equipment, i.e. masks and gloves and that kind of stuff?
So we do get some of our supplies from our office, and it gets split up between 16 staff. So sometimes it's 2 boxes of gloves, sometimes it's 1. And then of course other donors like you. And then sometimes our PHM nurses or other, our chapter house, sometimes Albert's really good. He'll give me a box of gloves or mask. So, but we change with every visit, we change our mask and our gloves. So those go pretty fast. But if I see, sometimes I hear from the elders that they feel safer in the masks that are bought. And so if I see an elder with one that's just it's seen its days, I will give up some of my masks and tell them, here's 4. And I can understand that, but, they think that because they see it at the clinic, they see them being worn, not the cloth ones. And so I can understand that, and I never say no, don't. And so I'm always willing to share my store-bought mask with my elders. So yes, it is a need.
Okay, we'll bring some masks. Okay, the next thing is COVID back on the mountain? And if so, how much?
So knock on wood, the 2 communities that I cover, Forest Lake and Black Mesa, they're still all recovered camps. We're just going back and telling the ones that are recovered camps that COVID-19 is still shedding. You need to give it at least 3 to 4 months. And we stress, please continue practicing social distancing, wear your mask at all times, hand sanitizing. So we're still pushing that in our community. I have not seen any, but my coworkers like in Chinle, Pinyon, and Rough Rock, I know their numbers are up. I'm not sure if it's because we're really isolated in the boonies. I didn't really see a lot of referrals, but it has snuck into some homes, and we lost a community member to COVID. So, but as far as today, I know that I have not gotten a referral on a new case.
Okay, and I know that I asked you, thank you very much for that information, Lynn. I know that I asked you the other night on the phone what you wanted us to bring in October for our next drop-off at the chapter
Right.
house, and you mentioned a whole list of stuff, which is very
So,
doable. What else?
yeah, so I had, when I was asked that, I had told Tosh, flashlights are real popular. Beanies would be a good one. Some thick socks, sweatshirt, probably size large and X large, because our elders like to layer. And I said Bengay, Vicks is very popular. Acetaminophen is good. Cough drops is good. Scarves is good. Gloves to keep their hands warm is good. Even matches, because they all start their fire. Where I think we started our wood stoves say 3 months or 3 weeks back. And this morning I saw 2 homes that had their fire going. So matches are good. Yeah, I think yeah.
Thank you very much for that,
That's
Lynn, and we'll get started on that next week. This weekend
Mhm.
is the concert, the Kebmo concert, so we'll definitely put that on the list, and we'll put that out as well tomorrow in the newsletter, which I should be done with by noon tomorrow. And at the end of the newsletter, people are saying what is needed, so I'll go ahead and add everything you gave to me on the list, adding the sweatshirts with the hoodies over,
Yes, yes.
extra large and large. And this has been a really nice break because it seems like we were just going and going and going. one
Yeah.
trip after the other on top of everything else that's going on here in Santa Fe and in Albuquerque. But I've had a nice break. We've had a nice break. So I'm starting to gear up and get ready to go back up to Black Mountain. So we'll keep you and the chapter house posted on the date we decide on when I can take leave from work and get off and go up to Black Mountain. Probably I'm going to shoot for the midterm for the semester, somewhere in that week, so I can actually go up and spend time with my mom and my
Oh,
stepdad and stuff like that. So that'll be really fun, but we will certainly keep you posted, and we'll keep everybody else posted. That it's amazing, our community that really cares. Our community really has a heart, and
mhm.
has our community has started this movement, this momentum, this run up to Black Mountain. It's not me. I'm just the boots on the ground with a fabulous navigator that sits on the side that does so much work. I'm so grateful. But having the boots on the ground and being able, like you, Lynn, is a gift, because I still can. I'm still capable, even though I broke my toe one time. I still went up there the next day in a lot of pain and still delivered, because I can. We can. We're still able to at this time, but in 10 or 15 or 20 or 30 years, I don't know if I'm going to be capable, but at this time, Biga, I can do it. So, Amber, nice to see you. Would love to hear some words from you. Do you have any words for Lynn Dean tonight? Amber helped pack several times. She comes here and spends like
Oh,
8 hours packing, boxing, labeling. Amber, we love you. Thank you.
I
thank
love
you.
you so much. Thank you so much, Lindine. I appreciated so much your positive attitude, your gratitude for the beauty of that way of life, and for the things that you do have, and your way of taking something and showing how beautiful it can be. It's been an important lesson in my life, and it's just lovely to hear you talk about your life in that way. So much has been said lately that's so negative, and it's so depressing, and it's so
Mhm.
hard, and so much grief. And I needed to hear things said in that way today. And so I really thank you personally for that. Um, Tosh, please keep us posted as to what's needed. We will make this happen. And, someone has always been there when I had nothing, groceries came, when I needed something, someone did for me, someone pulled me up out of nothing. And what a gift to be able to then pass that on. And so much love to you all. I do hope to get up there
We'd love to take all of you up to Black Mountain with us. There's nothing like it on planet Earth.
one day.
One day, we'd like Lindine to explain to us, what is one day on Black Mountain your workday look like, Lindine? Give us a picture.
Oh my gosh. Um, you know, I've grown so close to my elders that even if I visit one day and I go back the next day, they're doing something different. They're feeling something different. And 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 through that, I've also lost elders. Excuse me. Uh, they were really dear to me. And uh, 2 weeks ago, I lost one that was pretty special to me. He was just a hardworking man, very nice man, 93 years old. But um, let's take today, for instance. Today, I started my day from Black Mesa chapter. I told Tasha, I'm going to be home early. I'm going to get this stuff. I'm ready. Wouldn't you know it? It didn't turn out that way. I picked up 10 boxes of food from the Pinon Food Distribution Center. And the chapter manager at Pinon chapter has done this big grant, and she gives really nice food bundle away. So I picked up 10 and started, and I figure I'm going to visit this person, this person. I have my list. Right at the end of the pavement in Forest Lake, I had a flat tire. So I waited and waited, and I took off the spare, but Thomas came to my rescue. He was home today, so that took an hour off my schedule, and from there it just it was like one thing after another. The quick visits that I thought, oh, she knows she's always doing this at this time. I'll quickly give her food and move on, but it wasn't the way I planned it. So I had this flat tire. I had one of my grandmas with Parkinson is now dealing with dementia. So I spent about 30 minutes there convincing her to go back inside and please stay inside. And yeah, so, and then at another home, it was, can you reschedule my appointment? And it's like, we're in the boonies. And I'm like, there's no phone service here. I have to go at least 15 minutes back to go uphill to place this call. So today just didn't work out the way it is. And then I have this loaner laptop that I was trying to quickly learn and be friends with. So, yeah. And yeah, so that's how my day went. And sometimes it's asking for water for someone, going back and getting water, or you get to somebody, oh, so the other, like yesterday was another day that I had a plan. It didn't go out quite well. A grandma had fell, and I don't know how long she'd been out there in the sitting in the ground. But I wanted to go back check on her today, but because of the flat tire and all these other little things coming up, I just didn't have time to go back that way. But tomorrow I will. And a few of the elders have my phone number, and I tell them, only call me if it's really an emergency on a weekday, or sometimes I'm busy, don't keep calling me. And so they understand that. Or either the chapter house, the chapter managers are really good too. That I tell them, call the chapter, they'll text me right away, and texting is better because they don't know how to text. So we've got the hang of that. So that's yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynn. And the one day that we got to go with you and follow you to all those sheep camps between
Yeah.
Forest Lake and Oak Ridge, and looked like we almost went into Blue Gap and towards Pinon, and the vastness of the rides in between, the miles and miles,
Wow.
and the roads, and just spending one day with you and the uncles with our pickup trucks following each other and hauling those big old 55-gallon drums of water and landing it on tires and the whole rope and the whole thing, and then explaining with your total fluent Navajo expertise to the elders how to use these hand washing stations, and hearing all the stories on the mountain. I mean, that was like an 8-9 hour day, and it was absolutely exhausting. And I thought, man, if this is what Lynn does for a living, man, Lynn is blessed. You've got some really good karma coming to you, Lynn, along with my Aunt Marlene, Bilta, and Larry, and all those guys up there on Black Mountain. Albert Lee, tell them we said hi, okay? Tell them we'll be coming back soon. So everybody, we want to tell you if you want to donate or pass the word on to anybody you know that wants to donate to the Navajo Nation. The best place to donate to is Black Mountain. What can I say? It's on our donate site is on the website. Pass the word on. As always, we want to thank our interpreters for making access available to our deaf and hard of hearing community members. And if you want to drop off items here in the garage, there is stuff starting to be dropped off. We've had neighbors show up with, the other day a neighbor showed up with a case of Clorox. So people know that we're up to this stuff. So you know where our place is, so come on over. And you can also post through the mail, that works. We're going to be going up to Black Mesa mid to end of October. I'm going to have to find out my schedule and I'll keep you all posted. Thank you, as we say back home. Ahead, ahead. Thank you.
Thank you to everyone that's helped the community, our community.
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
the
Thank
other
you.
thing that was a big hit was the puzzles.
Oh, okay, everybody, you hear that?
Yeah,
Puzzles. If you have any old
the
puzzles you're
grandma
not
really
putting
liked
back
it.
together,
Not
pass
so
them
much
on. We'll
the
take them up.
grandmothers, it was the grandmas that loved it.
All
Yeah.
right, everybody, let's all give it up for Lynn Dean. Woo! Thank you, Lynn.
Later.
We'll call you. Yeah. Thank you, interpreters. Chris, love you, bro. Take care.